out of your chair and that sort of rising. That
They
will
might get beat even worse by something else.
Don't say that.
That could be.
I was on a positive run. It was working.
Yeah, you were being an angel on the shoulder, so I had to be the devil. You know, we got to balance each other out here,
We're
Max.
just a conscience here. That's what we are here on the caster desk, and I like it. All right, some weird bans come through from BNK to start this one off. There's Nautilus, Na, and the Xin Zhao all taken away. Xin was banned in the last game, but the other two feeling a little bit new. As we do have the Orianna and the Rumble taken away so far, the Azir has slipped through, that the Ashe is going to be the ban. I actually quite like that. I think defaulting back to an Ashe Seraphine to say, well, we're going to win a lane is a good way to kind of bounce back.
Yeah.
But we do have BNK going for their first pick here, and it will be the Karma
Ezreal Karma
away.
It would be my guess, unless BLG want to actually take it away. But Karma, obviously, such a strong pairing there. You know, we could just see Quirky Nami or something like that as an answer, but taking away the Ezreal, obviously quite strong too.
Yep.
They're at least considering it. We'll see if that is going to be the case.
I do think that Sivir Karma is still very strong,
It is,
and
yeah.
Jarvan has been played already, so that's fearlessly banned. And so picking Sivir blind without seeing the jungler isn't quite as punishing. So this feels
And
like a pick
Alistar is
away, but
gone.
it may not necessarily work. And Alistar being gone is certainly
And
good too.
those are both tough matchups there for Mrs. Sivir, as she does not have a good time there. So Pantheon Ezreal, strong first two here for BLG, I have got to say, especially with a little bit of focus on the jungle pool. This is one of those really high prio AD junglers that is going to pair well with pretty much anything that Knight and Bid would want to play.
Yep. And has more global as well, which can be very, very powerful.
Renekton makes a lot of sense with the Narban.
Yeah, I saw the Narban. You were thinking it's probably going to be a Renekton angle. And let's see whether it is going to be a Sivir lock-in alongside it, or whether it's going to be something else, perhaps for the jungle or for Vicla, depending on what we do see here.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
We'll see where BFX wants to go, and I'm also going to be interested to see what Bin's answer is. I always feel like you can just go
Jinx.
Sion. Wow, Jinx. Okay, this is actually really interesting. So this should give him a lot of prio. It's a ton of wave clear here with Fishbones plus the Mantra Qs. You know, you have all this poke. You have the ability to kind of push in. What they are really lacking, obviously, is hard engage. So BLG, I think, can go for an answer and support if they want here, or they can answer, you know, top lane. And then I think they really should be banning out good engage options for BFX, because I think that is clearly what BFX is lacking right now, as they do need an engaged jungler. Very likely. Sion, I love as an answer, you know, up on that top side, like I was saying. I think this is a really good matchup for Sion. Even though you lose prio early, I rarely see Renektons be able to slam home enough of an advantage that it feels like it's really been worthwhile. And we'll see if Clear is able to create enough of an edge and get enough done with this Renekton that it is going to feel better than Bin here on this Sion.
And it also might be quite difficult to play this Jinx prior to getting excited and trying to deal with this Sion in your face. Obviously, you can cut through tanks relatively well as this champion, but it is still a little bit of a scary thought in team fights later on.
Trundle, I was going to say, is an obvious one when you are playing Sion. You do kind of need to ban that out. But I'd also be thinking about, if I'm BLG, things like, you know, Malphite potentially. Anything that is, you know, a good go button from the jungle feels like something you would want to target, because I do think that is kind of what they are lacking. Instead, it is going to be a little bit of both. Obviously, it is a little bit of pseudo-engage here, but also safety there for Vicla. And it is going to mean now Vicla very likely is the one that is going to be picking blind here. And that is going to be tough after you just got completely stomped in game one.
Yeah.
Giving Knight counter pick here in game two with a couple of mid laners taken away is going to be that much harder, because Ori is gone, Azir is gone. This would be spicy here from on.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great options for him to go towards, and honestly, could work. And Ezreal Nami, this is what I was thinking. I was like, the last enchanter you really have to try and go double ranged in this lane is kind of Nami, but Nami Ezreal feels odd. They're still going to lock it in, and let's see how it's going to work.
I will say, you know, it's less of a common pairing. Obviously, we see a lot more Nami with Lucian and with Corki and those kind of lanes. But it's a lot of poke, it's a lot of sustain, and it's really going to come down to, you know, just how many skill shots can you hit as Ezreal. That's basically all these lanes do come down to. My question is, can BLG actually contest the push in the 2v2 bot? Because I feel like Jinx Karma has so much pushing power that I think we're going to have to see Viper and On kind of playing past the wave and trying to deny them access to it. Naafiri as an option here is pretty exciting.
This is a big favorite.
You can
Raptors.
throw yourself into the back line, but...
Yeah. He loves this one. There is an Annie for Vicla as well. And this is a champion that even on previous patches has been really rising to the forefront. But we've seen nerfs on a lot of the more common mid laners. And so Annie has been coming out even more recently.
And they just need a go button, right? They were really lacking that. So
Flash
now
Bear.
Exactly. Flash Bear. And when you go for the Naafiri, you need something that is going to pair well with it in the mid lane. It's an AD jungler. You now have your essential dive squad there. You shield them up. You send them in. It is going to be Aurora as the option here for Knight. Knight is an absolutely terrifying Aurora. And when you are playing dive, you have 4 champions here, well, 3 really, that are going to get really close, but you have a lot of champions that are going to be flying in, and the counter engage from Aurora can be terrifying. Not in that she has some amazing CC, but in that she's going to counter engage by killing your whole team.
No, it's really amazing CC. You have CC for like so incredibly long, like 30 seconds at a time. It's crazy, man.
And you're going to be trying to go through the Pantheon, the Sion, the Nami wave, and really the prime target is the Ezreal, right? But the Ezreal is going to be very difficult to get to, I think, for BFX, so that is kind of my question is, can they actually, get past these carries to burst down Knight or burst down Viper? Because if not, I think they will really struggle in a front to back trying to get through this Sion. So it's going to be interesting to see how BFX plays it out.
Yeah, I'm going to be focused on how the lanes are going to go early on in the game, though, because we're sort of analyzing how team fights might go in an even game state later on. I'm hoping that we can get to an even game state later on because BNK weren't able to quite get that one over the line in game number 1. So let's just cross that bridge first, and then we'll get to the next one, where we need to worry about how you possibly
There's
kill
a lot
Ezreal.
of scary bridges that you have to cross to beat BLG.
There's a lot of bridges, like, I mean, we're in Brazil, there's a lot of rivers, all over the place. So you just,
with spikes and snakes and stuff you got to get across to be able to beat BLG.
I can't believe they haven't spoken to me about it yet, because I know a lot about snakes. I could have been there. But
and spiders that are as big as dinner plates.
Yeah, those guys, they're really great. Let's get on the rift here, though, here for game number 2. And BNK, they've shaken their sillies out. That's what we went with in game number 1. They shook their sillies out, and now they're all gone, and we're ready to have a competitive game of League of Legends.
They shook them out. BLG had no sillies to shake, though.
No, they didn't.
They were locked in.
They were very still.
They were
very still
super
after
locked
that game.
in.
I obviously shook them out earlier, and so that is certainly good news. Let's see whether Vicla is going to have a better time here.
Well, he can't have a worse time, so I think it will be going better. But he's going to be critical to their success because Vicla had been having a really good run in the LCK. I know game 1 is not representative of how he has been playing at all. He has been on a bit of a tear. He's been getting, solo kill after solo kill against some of the very top players in the LCK. He was able to take out Faker and Showmaker and Chovy and, getting solo kills on all these huge household names. That has been a core part of why they have been doing so well. It's not just Diable and Raptor. Vicla has really been stepping up. Kellin, I think the meta has been fitting him very well with the Enchanter meta.
Would agree.
And this whole package is a big part of why BFX have looked so good. So they really do need to get him up and running because they can't do it without him, not against a team like BLG.
Yep, I think it's very cool for Vicla, though, to be back on an Annie. This is a champion that he was actually playing a lot because he was a utility player in the mid lane. Like, this is what he sort of began as, sort of accepted that he wasn't one of the superstars. And he has since, been picking up Yone and solo killing Faker, picking up Akali, solo killing Chovy.
I thought he was going to go for a wraparound gank there.
I was expecting something like that.
Oh, he's going to try to cheese Shun. He's going to try to cheese Shun maybe at the red, I think. Oh, this is sneaky.
He spotted it out. Shun is playing very defensively, though, around his Raptor camp. But Raptor knows Raptors, okay? He's very aware of that. Does find the first dagger here, though, as Shun is just going to get sent out of his own jungle. I don't think the Pantheon is really going to be able to fight this Naafiri here. So he is just going to be backing away.
But he doesn't have bot lane prio, so I don't think that Raptor can actually do anything with this. This feels like very dangerous to me, but Shun is going to eventually give it up. Honest is going to harass him, and Shun, wow. I mean, Raptor just had so much respect to that. He thought that Shun was there, and Shun has already backed off, so On going to be able to make this reset. And
well, Vicla's coming down as well. Flash out from On. Knew that he wasn't able to actually stay over there. Knew that the mid laner was coming down, so BNK just brought their friends. And that is going to be able to get it, as Raptor is able to take down this crab as well. This little doggo is going to be able to help get rid of the rest of it. And so ultimately, in the end, working out quite nicely. Vicla also having a good time in this mid lane this time around, as Knight looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, and it could be even double scuttle here for Raptor. Will be, so he's going to go straight towards it. So he doesn't get the red, doesn't actually steal away any camps from his opponent directly, but does delay him, does force the flash of On, and is able to double scuttle. And now this is a really dangerous TP from Knight.
That is a very aggressive teleport as Knight trying to get himself out of there, but he gets stunned up immediately. Shun in the area though, so Raptor going to have to get himself out as Vicla also looking worse for wear. So BNK not able to grab themselves a first blood. But Knight teleports back and immediately is exceptionally low. Vicla still with his TP available as, okay, Raptor and Shun still trying to fight this one out. We do have a charged up Q that is going to connect, but On turning up first is going to mean that things should be all right here for Shun, and stealing away Raptors. This is always a problematic scenario as Kellin looking to take On for a walk. Does manage to do so here as some of these daggers are connecting, and it looks like the big Raptor will go over to Raptor this time. As, wow, anything you can do, I can do better, says Vicla, as he's immediately put into the bubble. The Molten Shield working out quite nicely, and Shun flashes away to keep himself alive, and there is first blood over to Knight. Flashes out of the way, the sickest fadeaway you will see, and another one. Knight versus Vicla for first blood.
The risky TP is on the other foot.
Why would we do that? We just punished the other guy for doing that.
He's like, oh, what a dummy. Did you see that TP from Knight as he's TPing in on a minion?
Oh, no.
Oh, Vicla, my boy. He gets taken down, and no one goes down from BLG. We literally just saw this happen the other way, where Knight got punished, but this time they are a lot stronger. They have bought. On is in the area as well. And look at Knight's confidence here, going forward through the tower, gets the kill, flashes out, has the reset, and another first blood there for Knight. This one not going to be a solo kill or anything. You know, mid lane is not as much of a disaster by any means. BFX definitely more competitive, but they had it in such a good spot. Yeah. Just kind of a freebie that they had given over. And these pro players, man, they love their risky TPs. We saw it really punish Clear last game. Then we saw it both punish Knight, and now Vicla even more so this game. You can just TP to the tower, I promise.
I was thinking that maybe towers were now deactivated. That's why maybe I missed the patch note. You can only teleport to minions in very scary positions with enemy teammates all over the place. I think that's maybe a change that must have happened.
They should try that one with the Zir. Maybe that'll get him. The large rod isn't working, so.
All right, well, there's level 6. Bear comes down, but there is Between Worlds already. Shun turns up, and Vicla dead once again. Knight sitting at 2-0 to start this one off.
Yeah, that is tough. The Bear came down, but so did the jacked man with the spear. And turns out he is more of a help than the teddy bear, so going to be another kill here for Knight. And let me tell you, Knight Aurora is incredible to behold. You do not want this guy getting fed. This champion from ahead, all of a sudden the basic abilities kind of just one-shot you, and then you're off to Reset City, which is not a place that BFX want to see him go. That being said, at least Diable is, out to a little early gold lead here. They have been able to, keep the push for Jinx for the most part, which is kind of what you expected. Topside, though, this is kind of where I really get concerned about these types of matchups. Is Bin is just going to all back to the lane. It's a couple hundred gold lead, but it just always feels like you need to be so much more ahead for it to really be worthwhile as the Renekton, because the Sion just naturally gets so tanky, and it is double physical damage topside. You also have Annie, who is not going to be really helping killing out the Sion, right? Like, there's not a realistic fight where Annie is focusing,
it's all Diable. If Diable cannot kill Bin, this is a wash.
Exactly, and the problem is he's going to be stacking infinite armor because he's not laning against a Rumble where he has to actually respect that. He's just, from the word go, going to only stack armor the entire game, and that is going to make it really, really difficult for Diable, because then you're looking at, okay, well, you at least need LDR, you need IE, you're looking pretty late in the game already for when you're going to be able to deal with this guy. So we'll see if BFX can kind of fight around him and solve the Knight problem, which is going to be an issue here in Game 2.
Yeah, first Dragon should be going over to BNK, though. It looks like BLG not wanting to try to contest this at all. That will be taken. So a Hextech Dragon to be going down first. Second up will be an Ocean. Then we'll see what the Soul is going to be. Whether that's going to be relevant at all is going to be a question mark, because BLG already off to a pretty good start, and the Dragons were not exactly talk of the town in game number 1.
This one much closer, though, than last time. Last time, it honestly felt the game was over by 5 minutes. And not even exaggerating, it was very, very tough. The gold went up and down a little bit, but let's be real, that last game was not close whatsoever. Yes, Knight is out to a very good early lead, but BFX is going to have real chances in this game. The problem for me is just you are playing a hard engage comp against two very shifty carries, right? You are trying to take down Aurora, who can go invisible, who can go between worlds and hop away. Ezreal, who is playing barrier and obviously has a lot of mobility built in. That, I think, is the real challenge for BFX, is can they really be picture perfect with their engages and delete one of those carries? And if they can, I think they have a real shot.
Well, two grubs do go over to BNK as Raptor smites away that one, and also, never mind. So it is going to be 2 for 1. Sion comes on over and gets himself the final smite. So BLG with one of their grubs. I think, like you say, definitely not as end of the world as we saw in game number 1 yet. And I do like the composition here for BNK. I think that Jinx is a great win condition later on in the game, and right now Diable is doing just fine in this lane.
Yep.
It's just whether or not, Bin is going to get too big, and if Diable looks at Knight the wrong way, he may just die.
He will get one shot, yeah. So that is always a problem, but clearly the comp is built around you go in, you one-shot one of these BLG carries, you get Jinx the reset, and then Jinx carries the rest of the fight. Is on. Barely survived there, did still have the flash, but the heal was expended. And so they want to get strong enough that they have enough damage to really get that first kill, get that first reset, and we'll see if they are going to be able to do that, because Diable, once he gets going, it really is a thing of beauty to watch this guy play. He likes to play so aggressive.
Well, Knight in a little bit of trouble here in this mid lane. Will be looking to go back home by the looks of things. I think was due a reset. Does have the Merc Treads as well, just to make sure that these stuns from the Annie are not going to be too much of an issue, as Tibbers does manage to bounce back to Vicla. Good bear care there that we do very much like to see. In the LCK, there's some notoriety for some of our players that aren't able to look after their maidens very well on Yorick. A very similar thing
They're on the PETA watch list.
Oh yeah, no, it really bothers me. But Vicla, they're able to keep Tibbers safe, at least for a moment.
I mean, Yorick's got to take care of the maiden.
I know.
That's his wife, right?
Exactly. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Get it together.
Well, thankfully, Yorick not in this game, so no need to worry about that one for now, as we're looking to see whether this next dragon is going to be the port of call. Maybe it's going to be something else. But right now, the game has calmed down in a good way, because last time around, it was all action because BLG never stopped killing BNK players.
That's true.
And so if we do want a more even game, then we're going to look for a little bit more inaction. As now Raptor fighting against Knight here. Super Mega Death Rocket actually going to connect the Aurora from downtown. But not really going to be finding too much more, as there's a flash over the wall from Sion, and does eventually find that stun there. Between worlds they go, is now Vicla able to flash his way up, and my god, the damage from Knight already looking absolutely absurd. And with no flash to contend without a Vicla here either, I mean, Knight is going to be able to farm these plates in this mid lane.
Yeah, you got to be careful too, because when QE comes back up, he could flash and farm the champions as well. That is a risky recall.
Well, there is another fight here brewing towards his bottom side. Is now Viper in a lot of trouble. That is Kellin locking down that killer. Sion turns up, and finally Diable gets one at the same time. Kellin able to make his way out of 2 for 1 in the bottom lane. And these two were the best duo killers that we had in the LCK, and they are demonstrating it here on the world stage.
Yeah, that is really nice. Vicla still hasn't based. He is just bleeding out minions and tower plates here. Let's watch this one more time down the bot side. We kind of only saw the very end of it. Oh, that is a super aggressive shift here from Viper. Gets caught by the tether there as Kellin flashed forward early. They focus him down. Then look at Diable. He's kiting into the tower because he has to kite away from the stun from Sion to be able to finish off that kill. Beautiful kiting from him, recognizing how he was going to be able to win out in that spot. And he had his early Hex Optics C44, so you get that extended range, that bonus damage
as well.
Exactly. You get that max damage now at only 500 range, so it's really easy to actually hit that and get that bonus damage, especially when you're in rocket form. As going to take a little bit of damage. Nice sidestep there.
Yep, not going to get bubbled, but is otherwise in a little bit of an issue here as far as the 2v1 is concerned. The rest of BNK are moving down, though, as we check in on this top lane. Clear just between turrets, as on could be in a little bit of trouble. Was taken for a walk momentarily, but Kellin not going to be able to find too much more alone. And it looks like BNK, they just want to turn their sights towards the Dragons. And yes, we do. I mean, this one is exceptionally close. BNK right now with a slight lead. But as I say that, BLG ticks up to join them. So this is some League of Legends that we have here. It was the weird one in game 1, but now we have a real game on our hands.
I mean, Knight is still dominating mid lane. Vicla is in in some trouble, but Diable is up 1.3k. That is your Jinx getting really fed early on. You've got 2 early dragons. It is going to be Chemtech, which is a bit unfortunate, but they do have a number of shields, so it makes it a little bit more powerful, obviously, you know, with the Karma, with the Annie. And at the end of the day, a soul is still a soul. It is still a lot of extra power that they can work towards. And BLG are just trying to get online to where they feel comfortable fighting for this. So I love that BFX have really pushed the pace, took the early dragon, got right back to it on spawn, because, you know, Ezreal wants to get to a couple items. They want to get really rolling here before they show up and start team fighting. Whereas a lot of these champions over on BFX side, I feel like are good to go on one item. You know, like they are ready to scrap.
Yeah, especially like the Annie and the Renekton, for example. They are feeling very, very good at that moment. We also have first item completions for the junglers at the same time. And this is where Raptor really does start to take over on this Naafiri. I think Pioshik, another one of our Naafiri players, but him and Raptor really were leading the charge as far as this champion was concerned. Often picked into Vi because you can just sort of ignore her ultimate most of the time. But we've got another fight brewing here as Knight just doesn't want any part of it. And he just gets away with the ulti.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy, I feel like, to be a very good Naafiri player. As, you really have to play on that knife's edge, and Vicla down 2 levels.
Yeah, Bin is going to turn up. There is the Grand Starfall as well from Shun, and Vicla, I think, is dead, as he's just going to get fully charged up on that Q, and down he will go. Pantheon grabs another one, and Vicla sitting at 0-3-0. This is not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that it's the year of Vicla, but it's not looking like the year of Vicla here.
No.
It's the wrong hemisphere, perhaps. Something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. It's a time change thing. It hasn't
must
yet
be
ticked over to the year.
It's something like that. Clear, though, not looking like he's too worried about it. It's just going to eat the fish. And down will go on. Bin is still alive, though, and has that big old shield as he turns up. And I think they're going to have to sacrifice more than just Raptor here, as Clear is likely to be going down. And Viper is able to help Knight get a double here on this top side of the map. You mentioned how scary his Aurora is. Well, his Aurora has all of the money.
Yeah, and likely going to go in towards a Shadow Flame second, I think even. He is going full burst here. Obviously, you need the Merc Treads because there's a lot of CC on the other side. Point and click with the Annie as well as the follow from the Renekton, so you need that. But this is going to be incredible burst. Already 8 stacks on the Dark Seal as well, as they do look for this dive. And great, you killed off the Nami, but who cares? I mean, it's just the Nami, so we're going to full send it on Nami with Flash, with ult, with everything. Viper is hitting the whole time. Bin TP's in. Who's ever going to deal with Bin in this situation? And the carries are just so shifty, so it's very difficult. If you don't kill Viper and Knight off, it's got to be one of those at the start of the fight, or I just feel like you'll never win. Like, there's just no way. On cannot be the prime target.
And here is the Coinbase gold grind, and it doesn't look great for Vicla here. Knight feeling very, very good about the amount of money that he's put together, close to a 3,000 gold lead, which is kind of absurd.
It's a 1%er over there.
Oh, man. It's just how it goes.
Vicla's just a common man trying to get by, trying to pay his bills. Knight is like, I think I will buy a 3rd Ferrari this game.
Yeah, I'd say that I think common man, but down on his luck.
He's down on his luck,
is Vicla here today.
Rent just got raised.
He used to have money. Like back in the LCK, he was putting wins together. Maybe not necessarily in the final of the LCK Cup, but before that, things were looking fantastic. And, you know, sometimes it just comes and goes, you know? Ebbs and flows, as Nami would say. That's all right. We do have the 2v2 moving over towards this mid lane, as Diable should be feeling pretty happy as far as the range is concerned, but if Viper is good at hitting these Mystic shots, which in this moment, not necessarily working out, BLG should be all right.
Yeah, I mean, the bot lane is the hope right now, as Kellin.
Yeah, Tidal Wave does come on through, gets the flash out from this Karma.
But again, it's getting, you just don't want to get back into that dangerous spot like last game where it's like, oh, Kai'Sa's on 3 items, great. Yeah, but if your AD carry is the only threat, all pressure will be thrown on that AD carry, and then it's very hard to fight, right?
Yeah.
You know, it becomes quite difficult, and you can see quite a lot of armor already has been purchased up here by Bin. I'm surprised that he actually went in for the Negatron, relatively early on. And he doesn't have Tabby, so he's maybe not quite as tanky as he could be, but still, it's going to be very tough to crack. And Raptor just trying to zone them back, get more gold here for Diable.
Yeah, man, this
really is their hope.
This turret could just be dead, as Diable is just putting so many bullets in it. Finally, Shun is going to come on forward, and the bubble connects. And Diable really wanted to kill that turret, does manage to get it from the grave, as in comes the train. Bin to lock down. Raptor here goes untargetable for a few moments and tries to keep himself alive. True Shot Barrage, not enough, but the spear will do it. And BLG, yeah, that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I mean, Diable, we talk a lot about the positives, right? About how good he is at playing on the knife edge. Sometimes he stabs himself with the knife, you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that felt like a bit of an unforced one where, I mean, he's standing in the face of the Pantheon to knock down the turret. He did end up getting it, but he dies for it. Your mid lane turret dies for it. You are going to lose quite a bit. At the very least, they did get a tower back on top side as well, as Bin did move and cleared stage top. BLG will get a dragon, though, so they're going to stop that soul stacking. Raptor died. And it is nearly a 3K gold lead now here for BLG, fully in control once again. And you just look at mid jungle, and that is a problem because you are getting into that territory where it's really just Diable against the world.
It is. There's the flash forward here from Vicla, but Knight manages to get himself out of the way with a flash of his own, and underneath their turret they go. So looks like it is just going to be this Drake going down, as Kellin is once again getting a little bit frustrating. There's a Crocodile following here, as on down to about 0 mana, but Shun is going to turn up as well as Knight teleports back in, and I don't think they really want to be fighting this Aurora unless she's going to miss some abilities. And it looks like now, yeah, BNK just going to leave.
Yep, and there is the Shadow Flame complete now, so Knight's burst going to ramp up a ton. I think Kellin was just hoping that they could actually stop the base from Knight, but they're going to go for a dive.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and take down this turret first as Knight goes between the worlds and tries to escape. He should be able to, oh, never mind. Taken out here as it's a kill for Raptor after taking down the turret at the same time. Bin forced to flash away, but Ingo's clear looking for an opportunity. Slice and dice and manages to pick up Shun. As now Bin not long for the world. The bubble doesn't connect. As Bin takes a bit of killing, but he'll go down in the end. And there is the BNK that we wanted to see from the LCK Cup as they win themselves a fight in the bottom lane.
Nicely done. I mean, they just hard force there on the dive, and on is going to be okay. But mid lane, Viper has just been pushing the entire time. Viper's trying to get some gold back. When you see Viper mid, though, for BNK, there's just no reason to ever stop, right? You're just going to keep going. They got the early kill onto Knight. Once Knight is down, I mean, sure, Bin arrives, Shun is there, On is there, but there's no DPS because Viper is not there and Knight is dead. So they can kind of just continue this push forever, even though Knight had TP back. Look at the tower, and look how much Crystal is stacked up. So they can kind of just burst down the tower. They go in onto Knight. They CC him up. Looks for a second like he might get out, but he does end up falling. The tower is knocked down in a hurry. Bin arrives, great, but there's no damage behind you, so he knows eventually he's going to go down. He tries to run away, but it's his flash, it's his TP. It's the TP and flash off of Knight. It's the flash off of Shun. It's a ton of kills for BFX, and it is the gold lead. Basically dead even at this point. It is really going to be all about Diable versus Knight.
Well, we've got Raptor going in, looking for a kill onto On. He is going to get taken down as Raptor is so deep behind enemy lines, and he just goes untargetable, floats his way out of there, and that is a free one. And the Rift Herald just did absolutely nothing. Shelly just hanging out in that mid lane, had nothing to charge into, and so just the timing on that fight so bad for BLG as Between Worlds Knight goes once again, but this time he is in a whole lot of trouble. Tibbers is getting a whole lot of work done here underneath this turret. As down goes Shun one more time. Plates are just evaporating from this inner turret, and Vicla survives with just barely any health. I think he deserves that one after dying 3 times in a row in the early game. He's dead.
Ooh, caught
I should never say it, man. I should never say it until he's safely back home.
That was messed up.
Yeah, the cast of curses, man.
Yeah, well, they do get one back, but still great plays from BFX. Vicla had a really nice peel onto Knight. As Knight went in with the Between Worlds, he throws down the ult onto Diable. He's looking to try to burst him out, but he got insta-stunned by Vicla, so he couldn't actually follow up with the 2-fold hex, with the weirding. He got no follow-up damage whatsoever. And once Diable is free, I mean, he just finishes LDR. I was talking about, oh, it could be problematic because he has to get to all these items. He's so accelerated. As we're going to watch this one more time. I'm not sure what's going on, so.
No, on is going out. That's what happened. This is the new version of the replay. I'm just hearing
Ezreal's ult. A lot of ults there from Viper, you know, really emphasizing that.
And the last one was the most important as well. As he managed to pick up the kill.
That it's over. I was enjoying that.
Yeah, I
feel like it could be like, you know, an EDM remix or something, you know? Get a little bass behind it.
Yeah.
Get it thumping.
Next time we'll try and spice it up for you, Azael.
Diable has his Hect Optics, he has his PD, he has his LDR, super high damage build. He's very accelerated. Once he gets the IE, well, the clock kind of strikes 10, right? Like that is where it is really tough.
Well, now he is in the front line. Does have to flash as Between Worlds he goes, and Knight is able to take down Diable. Yeah, that was not where you wanted to back.
No.
And now the Baron is available. BLG, they could just go for it. I mean, Raptor is in the area. He might be able to go for a steal, but that is the best that he has as far as his options. As Clear is moving over as well. They do get vision of the fact that this is happening. As Vicla trying to charge up that stun, he will have it available. As now Clear trying to get himself amongst it. Raptor able to bounce over this wall at any moment. And so they do have to have their fingers on the smite button, or at least Shun does. As there's a knockup actually on to the Naafiri, as in he goes. Down to 1900, 1500. That is going to be the Baron secured by Shun. And over the wall goes Raptor. Tibber's not able to help him out there as they get the depth thumbs up. And BLG straight back into the driver's seat.
Really well played there by BLG. Lazy recall from Diable gets super punished because not only does he die, and that costs you that fight, that costs you the Baron, he lost his flash too. So now they're not even going to have that for the next fight. So at the very least, they will be able to move towards soul points. So that is something for them if they can continue to wave clear through these next couple of minutes during that Baron buff. But I really like how BLG actually secure the Baron. Bin can tank it up forever, so they're not really worried about it. And Shun held that empowered Q the whole time. He was not going to waste that. He was not going to throw that over the wall. He was holding that for the smite secure the entire time. They paused the health for a long time on that Baron. Then he's able to secure it very, very effectively. Gets that from Raptor. And now it is time to see how much gold they can gain with this. BFX definitely not out of it by any means. If they can hold on and keep Diable safe, that is going to be the key. But no flash on him, and flash on Knight, who is now very close to his death cap, is terrifying because you get hit by 2-fold Hex plus weirding, you're basically dead. Or even if you're not, you are completely out of the fight. So that's all what it is about. And without the flash, it's really hard to be able to actually react to that and dodge that.
Yeah, Diable is basically going to be playing defense for the next few minutes. As this Rift Scuttler is going to be taken. Raptor a little bit in a rough spot. As now we've got Knight going between worlds, but he's in a rough position himself as Bin makes his way forward. There is the tidal wave as Raptor is out of there. My goodness, the damage is ridiculous, but On is going to get taken down. Raptor, sorry, Diable getting excited. Shun in so much trouble. Look at this guy. He's just firing from everywhere on the map. A triple already. The young AD carrier. There's a quadra. Make it a penta for Diable here at First Stand 2026. Oh my God, Diable with a penta to kick it off. That's the game. That should be it. We were saying he should probably wait until that flash is available. Never mind. Let's just get a pentakill and call it a day from there, evening up the series to bring us to a best of 3 between BLG and BNK. And this is what we wanted to see from this young squad. As BNK, they came to play. Those sillies well and truly shaken out. And the Nexus is also going to be taken down here as well. Wasn't the greatest out of Vicla in the early game, but it is Diable finishing it off. And BNK able to make their mark in this best of 5.
And this is just, it's beautiful to see them bounce back in that way. They got absolutely destroyed in game 1.
Yeah.
Some things were definitely going wrong in game 2, but they continue to stay proactive. They continue to look for plays, to look for aggressive moves. And they find an opportunity here to take him out. Lounge, what do you think about that penta?